Hey, this is Rick, and welcome to Spit Take Spoiler Reviews. I wanted to go back and revisit Iron Claw and get more into more of a spoiler kind of take on what was going on. So, most of all, I want to talk about Fritz von Erich. Fritz von Erich is the father, and I just have a big theory about Fritz von Erich. But Fritz originally was a football player, and football didn't go too well. He originally tried to play for the Dallas Texans in the NFL, and it didn't go too well. I'm looking at Wikipedia here, and he played in the CFL, and that didn't go too well, and he was actually trained by Stu Hart in the 1950s. Now, I said that he wrestled more in the 60s, maybe 70s, and I wasn't wrong, but he did start in the 50s, but he wrestled throughout the 60s and 70s and retired in the 80s, but that's where he took over the San Antonio, Houston territories of wrestling. But at the beginning there, we see that they are struggling and they are living out of a camper. And that is where you can kind of see that wrestlers do generally struggle, especially back then. Wrestlers, unless you were world champ and you had a family, you were generally struggling, traveling around. And you've seen that the wife of which was Doris, you saw that she was very loyal. Fritz bought a car, which was a brand new car, and Doris was just praying to God and was protecting them with God. But she didn't argue. She was just like, "Oh dear Lord, just protect us." And she was just going along with it, and that's where I was saying, like, she just went along with the father. The father was a narcissistic douchebag throughout the whole movie, and the mom just kind of went with it. When Kevin went to Doris and asked Doris later on in the movie to please ask Dad to take it easy on Michael, Doris said, "No, it's between Michael and your dad." Like, she let him be narcissistic. And so that's where I wanted to get to the point. Because they talked about that there was a Von Erich curse. And this Von Erich curse was in the family since Grandma. I don't think there was a curse. I think there was a Von Erich personality disorder that ran in the family. I think there was a trauma that was passed down from family member to family member. And I think it was being too hard on your child. I think it was treating your children like crap and creating trauma with your children. I think Fritz's dad probably did the same for him, if you think about it. Now, Fritz was apparently a well-rounded guy. He played a musical instrument, and apparently you find out later on. For some reason, I'm stuck on Fritz. Fritz is a very interesting character to me because he played a musical instrument, and he played football, and he was so angry, he lived through his children. He wanted his children, one of you win this gold for me. But, hold on a second. He ranked his children from favorite to least favorite. And his least favorite was not gaining any muscle, and that was Michael. Why aren't you gaining any muscle? And his favorite, well, he was Olympian. He was going to be an Olympian, and that was Kerry. And, well, that's not a wrestler. Olympian isn't a wrestler. And Fritz wasn't originally a wrestler. Fritz was a real athlete. Not to say pro wrestlers aren't athletes. I love wrestling, but he was a wrestler. He was a football player. He was a real competitor. He played a sport, not a show that was predetermined, which I think is interesting, very interesting. And once Carrie's dreams fell apart of being an Olympian, I want you to come and be a wrestler with your brothers. You know, I just thought that was interesting. And so now all of a sudden, I want I want one of you uh, to get the gold. Okay, so and the mother just kind of let this happen. Why is she letting this happen? Why isn't she being motherly? That's kind of weird. And the children are dying one by one, starting with Jack first of all, and the brothers are looking out for each other. The brothers seem to kind of notice this is happening, and they love each other, and the brothers are looking out for each other. And there are loving moments with all the family members, but they kind of let the dad do what the dad does. But then behind the scenes, the brothers pat each other on the back and build each other up, and they're just like, it's okay. You can go in front of me. You can take the world title, and that's it. But the dad gets to choose who gets to be who gets to be what. And nobody gets frustrated by that until they're all dead except for one who's still standing. And I think Kevin realizes that they're all dead because of one man at the end. Kevin realizes that they're all dead because Fritz pushes them all too hard. Because Fritz did not care about them. Because Fritz was all give, 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 no take. He's a narcissist. He didn't care about anything but greed and gold. He didn't care about his children. He cared about that title belt. He cared about fame. He cared about fortune. He cared about getting that name out there. When one died, we need to step up and get that title belt. That's what he was worried about. And the thing is, Kevin's still alive. Kevin knows this. Kevin knows this movie's being made. This is all true. You would never know. This tragedy actually took the Von Erich curse is not a curse at all. It's a narcissistic father. It's a narcissistic father who drove Carrie to alcoholism till he got a motorcycle accident, to lose his foot, and then eventually depression and kill himself, to make Michael think he wasn't good enough even though he wanted to be a musician, a talented musician, to end up he didn't even belong in the ring, but went in the ring not even fit to be in the ring, not even ready, not even trained good enough. He wasn't trained good enough to be in the ring. And Kevin knew that. I think Kevin knew that. Kevin was trying to train him to be in the ring. Kevin felt guilty about it, and Kevin was wrong. Kevin knew he was wrong to put him in the ring. But Kevin took part in putting him in the ring. And Michael ended up being mentally handicapped and killed himself. Now, David Von Erich, in the movie, it said he died because of intestinal failure or something like that. But in real life, and I'm reading off Wikipedia here, and I know there's more to the story, that there's other theories of why he died. Because of hydrocodone, hydrocodone or painkiller overdose, which is a big thing in the wrestling community, especially back then. That was getting passed around a lot, especially when we're talking about fights with people like Bruiser Brody. But we're talking about drug-related stuff. And why do people get hooked on drugs? Yes, pain, but there's more to the story than pain. There's depression, there's anxiety. Why do people have depression and anxiety? Because of trauma. Why do people have trauma? Because of a narcissistic father. Dude got screwed up by his dad. Possibly. It could be because of intestinal stuff. But, you know what though? In the movie, we heard it from his dad. That's what we heard. I'm just saying. Not saying, but I'm saying. But according to Kevin Von Erich and a former referee, David Manning, they both attested to a heart attack. So there's a lot of theories, but multiple brothers died. Half the brothers that died to a suicide. You got Jack, the youngest one, died to electrode drowning. So died of electrical drowning or something like that, which, he was like 5. But then Dave died to possible heart attack, possible drug overdose, or possible intestinal ruptured intestines. So there's a lot going on there. But then we got Kevin. Kevin's the only one that survived. And I think Kevin survived because he's the only one that found something to live for. Which I can highly relate to. He found the love of his life. And this was the sweetest part of the movie. This woman saw him and loved him. And he didn't even realize it. And he loved her. He fell in love with her. And he loved... You kind of got the... I kind of got the idea that, like, she was going to leave him, but she didn't. It was weird. But they're still together today. And they said at the end of the movie that they got a ranch and all their families there. They got lots of grandchildren. It's a really happy ending for them. Minus, losing their close-knit brothers. But he's one of those cases where he saw what a father shouldn't be. And saw what a bad father can do to a family. And said, I am not going to do that. And he did the opposite of what a father does. And he almost killed his father. At the end, when he was choking the life out of his father, you knew. That's when I realized that's the curse of the Von Erichs. Generational trauma was the curse of the Von Erichs. Family trauma. Treating your children like absolute trash. Ranking your children as if you had to earn your love. As if love was conditional. As if you have to earn my love through merit. That's trauma. That was the curse. And I have a feeling that that's how Fritz was brought up. And Fritz probably was the favorite in the past. I have a feeling Fritz was a favorite. And so he never had to be Michael. He never had to be Kevin. And Kevin had to be number 2. What was he? Yeah, he was... Well, I forget what ranking he was. I think he was number 2. I think he was going up and down because David moved up. Because David came in and he wasn't doing his, but he was, but he came in and he grabbed the microphone, and I keep doing this. I don't have if you're getting turned on by that, sorry. But he came in and he grabbed the microphone and he had some good mic work. And so I think David really moved up the ladder. But that's what really got me. Because you can feel that pain. Because Fritz was pissing me off that whole time. If you've ever dealt with somebody narcissistic, you were probably triggered. You probably were having some transference there. Because I was feeling that transfer. Like, if you had a boss, if you had a boss that, really pissed you off, that's what you were feeling that whole time. I think that's about it. Anything I miss? What did you think? Did you have any other theories that maybe I'm missing? Let me know. And please visit our other YouTube videos, visit our podcast. Let me know if you want to hear any other reviews. Visit our social media websites. Thanks for watching, and peace.